The battle between the Angels and the A's continues as this Athletics and Angels series sponsorship is presented by Chevrolet. Oakland took game one of this four-game series Monday night. The Angels offense came to life last night, so we're evened up. Tonight, game number 3 of a four-game set. Hi, everybody, from inside the Big A. We welcome you back to Angels baseball here on My 13 KCOP. He's Mark Kubiza. I'm Victor Rojas, and I just mentioned that the Angels offense certainly woke up last night. 14-run barrage against an Oakland A's team that kind of kicked the ball around a little bit last night.
Yeah, Victor, some impressive swings. And take a look at our AT&T U-verse rewind. We're going to see two of the most impressive ones that brought the crowd to their feet. Johnny Giavitello on a 3-2 fastball upstairs with 2 on, 3-run home run, his first. As an Angel, he got that crowd going. He got his teammates going as he goes around and scores. Then Cole Calhoun, who already had a couple hits at that point, 2 men on again, drives that one out to right center field. 2 3-run home runs as part of the 14-run barrage. 13-run differential in that game, best ever when we talk about Oakland and the Angels. And when you think about how close this series has been over the years, very impressive. You mentioned their defense wasn't there for Oakland, but the offense, the approaches, how they swung the bat, used the middle of the field. The home runs were great, but the approaches were so much better using that middle of the field.
And there's no question about that. And tonight on paper, we got a very good pitching matchup. Jared Weaver, the ace, on the hill for the Angels, and the Athletics will counter with their own ace, Sonny Gray, on the mound. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Angels baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. Start here. And by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich.
I'm Brian.
Baseball is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers and by AT&T U-verse. More live TV channels on the go than cable. Beautiful night for baseball here at the Big A. The Angels, as always, with Jared Weaver on the hill, do not waste any time in taking the field. It is game 3 of this 4-game series, with the series tied up at a game apiece. And with Jared about to start his warm-up pitches, we will take a look at Bob Melvin starting 9 for the Oakland Athletics. With the loss last night, Oakland now at 7-8 on the season, playing game number 16. Sam Fuld will lead things off and play center field for Oakland. Mark Canha is in left. Stephen Vogt back behind the plate. Billy Butler is the DH, a cleanup hitter. Ike Davis, a perfect 1-2-3 8th inning. Last night, he is the first baseman, and he will bat 5th. Josh Reddick back in the lineup in right. Brett Laurie in 3rd. Eric Sogard, good numbers against Weaver, will bat 8th and play 2nd. It's Marcus Semien batting 9th and playing shortstop. Weaver comes into this one with an 0-2 record, a 6.61 ERA. First 2 starts shaky, much better the last time out against the Houston Astros, even though he got a no decision.
Yeah, he threw the ball more consistently, especially with his fastball. He's got great career numbers against Oakland, 13-9 with an ERA under 3. You see that 0-2 mark, but much better that last time around. And keys for Weaver to be successful against Oakland once again is just keep the ball in the yard. Avoid that big fly and stay confident. That's the thing for Weave. If he stays confident with his fastball, his secondary pitches are excellent and you should get a lot of swing and misses.
Defensively for the Halos behind Jared, you got Colin Cowgill in left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun in right. David Freese, Eric Ibar, Johnny Giavotella, and Albert Pujols makes up the Angels infield from 3rd to 1st. Chris Sinetta behind the plate.
And when Weaver on the mound, generally a lot of fly balls, but when the ball is going to be on the ground, it's going to be at David Freese, his 15th start at 3rd base. A lot of ground ball action, especially off the end of the bat against Weaver. Each year, the last 3 seasons, his defense fielding percentage has improved.
Mentioned that long ball as far as Weaver keeping the ball in the yard. He's allowed at least 1 home run in each of the first 3 starts. Gave one up against the Astros on the 17th. Lasted 6 innings. Struck out 3 and walked nobody. Threw just 86 pitches. First one tonight upstairs. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Fuld hitting .300. 5 doubles, 3 triples, 4 runs batted in. Came in as a defensive replacement last night. Did get an at-bat and he had a single. So he pulls this one into right and there's a base hit. So the leadoff man is on board.
My Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be able to win this game. Go AC/DC. Back in black. Hit those corners. Paint the outside corner with a fastball. Go inside. Hit the black of the plate consistently. If Weaver does that, I'll tell you what, that changeup and curveball should be very effective against Oakland. Has his last 15 starts. He's been dominant against Oakland. First 15 pretty good, but last 15 excellent for Weaver against Oakland.
Here's Mark Canha, the left fielder. Fuld over at first. Canha finished the game last night at 3rd base. That first one is upstairs, and that's what you want to see from Weaver. Don't want to see from Weaver is being able to spot the fastball early in the ballgame to set up his other pitches.
And that's why I said this. Hitting the black of each corner. That's important for him with his fastball. Don't worry about velocity. It's about location of his fastball. So far, couple out of the zone for him.
Not a very big lead for Sam Fuld over at first base. 1 stolen base for the center fielder. Oakland has 7 on the season. They're perfect in the stolen base category, 7 for 7. Canha went around, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Much more difficult, I would imagine, for a young hitter such as Mark Canha or Marcus Semien, guys that have never really faced Weaver, to lay off the off-speed stuff, whereas the veteran guys that have more plate appearances at the major league level now realize where Weaver stands in his career and can kind of look for certain pitches.
Yeah, you can have all that conversation going through scouting reports, but until you get up there and deal with it, it's a different story.
Kind of odd pitch out, 1-1 count in the first.
When you do that as a manager, you have extreme confidence in a pitcher to throw strikes. Don't walk many batters, especially the very next pitch after that pitch out. More than likely, Sam Fuld will be going, and Canha will be getting a fastball here more than likely.
Angels last night season high with the 14 runs as well as hits 15. Good situational hitting as well. Good pitching from Hector Santiago. Picked up the win. Canna swing and a miss, tried to wait. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now, if you see a swing like that from a youngster, you just kind of stay with the off speed. Right?
I was just thinking the same thing. A lot of times as a pitcher, you try to trick a hitter. Think you can sneak a fastball. The one fastball you can probably throw to him is a high fastball. But I still think in terms of a breaking ball off the plate.
Well, then you run the risk of being, if he takes full count,
then you come right back with a slider anyhow. But I still think you have just a couple options here.
Another throw to first. But at 3-2, you figure for sure that Fold will be going with an off-speed pitch looming. Just thinking ahead, a couple pitches.
Yeah, but Weaver does a good job as far as holding the baseball. Sam Fold has not read him well yet.
He's not taking a very big lead. He takes off, swing and a miss. The throw down to second base is not in time. A stolen base. Looks like Johnny Giavotella asking Mark Wegner if the foot came off.
And they're looking into the dugout to see that. Pretty good jump. Picked the right pitch to go. Boy, it looked like there was a little bit of a hop. Mike Scioscia may do it.
Yeah. Dino Abel is on the phone right now. Just trying to get confirmation.
This will be a good view right here. He definitely beat the throw. Now, if he keeps the tag on, he is off. He's off. It's going to be real close.
Yeah, it's tough to tell there.
And they're going to check.
Unless there's another angle. You know, that whole definitive look.
He looked like he was off briefly, but you wonder if the glove was still on the body at that point.
Giavotella, I mean, immediately walked over to Wegner, the second base umpire. But
this might be a better angle here.
Yeah, see, now you can you can tell when the right leg pops off the bag and the glove is still on the body.
Giavotella right away is pointing in the dugout. Now he's safe. Foot's off the base, knees off the base, and if the glove's on him, he's out. Now the question is the glove on him. Definitely beats the tag. The heel hits the base and forces that foot up.
There he's off.
Yeah, he's off.
Now the question is on that one.
Is the glove on him?
Correct. And it looks like it is there.
Yeah, I think he's going to be out.
Well,
we think he's,
let's tap the brakes.
He possibly could be out. It worked last night for Soch. I know that.
That was a huge turn of events for the Angels when C.J. Crum was called out at first on what would have been a double play to end the second inning. Call was overturned. The Angels, of course, went on to score 4 runs and never looked back.
It sure looked like when he popped off the base, the glove was still on him. But again, going back to the pitch, great pitch by Weaver to get a swing and miss. Went back with another slider. So far, his slider's been pretty good. Against a right-handed batter, he'll use his slider more. Lefty, he'll use his curveball and changeup more often.
The call at second base is safe. They're taking the headsets off, and now they're calling him safe. I mean, he's off the bag, and it looks like the glove.
Soch's not real happy about that one.
It's unbelievable. Call stands. I mean, if he's off the bag and the glove is on him,
he's out.
Yeah. I mean,
should be out
by the rule book.
Yes.
Sure. But this whole definitive thing, I mean, guys in New York have just got to be able to make a decision based on what they're seeing. And if we're seeing it and people in the ballpark are seeing it, how are they not? It's a stolen base for Fold, 1 out. And this isn't the first time this year we've already seen that as far as the Angels are concerned.
Happened here against the Royals. Game 2 of that 3-game series.
Stephen Vogt takes down low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Vogt 3 for 15 in his career versus Weaver.
I'd be curious to hear Mike Scioscia's comments on that play at second base. Not so much the replay part of it. Finish my thought here after this pitch. It's a strike 2-1. But the fact that now position players have to complete a play, right? Whereas before they used to sweep tag and show the glove, play would happen, umpire would make a call. Now position players have to stay on the player just in case he comes off. Umpires need to do the same thing. As Vogt swings and misses too. I say that from the standpoint of it's easy to see the ball not beat the runner there, and you see the tag apply. In your mind as an umpire, yeah, it's safe, but you got to finish off the play. If you see the separation, it comes off the bag, wait till the play is done before making a call. There's no hurry.
Yeah, because the fact is, if he kept his eye on there all the way through, he's probably going to call him out. And if you go to New York and check it out, then he's going to be out.
Down the line foul out in front with a breaking ball. Still 2-2.
And now no challenges now for Mike Scioscia and the Angels up till through the 7th inning.
At that point, it becomes a crew chief review. Man at second, 1 out. Single and a stolen base, called upheld at second. 2-2. That is ripped into right field, a base hit. Cole comes charging in. Fold got a really late start from second. The ball goes off the glove, but trickles to Chris. So Vogt with a single. A's have runners at the corners here with 1 out.
This pitch got a little bit too much at the strike zone for Weaver against Vogt. He made him pay for it. Line drive in the right field. Yeah, not a real good read by Sam Fold. That's a play where, as a third base coach, you're waving him home, taking a shot at it. Especially when you're facing somebody like Weaver. Might not get many chances to score.
And now the red-hot Billy Butler steps to the plate. Butler has reached safely in all 15 games this year for Oakland. His first year of a 3-year contract, hitting .375. A couple of home runs, 8 runs batted in. And he'll look at a fastball for a strike. Certainly a double play candidate.
He's rolled into 4 already this year. He's got to get him out in front, something off speed.
Chris going to the backhand, digging that one hopper.
It's a dangerous play when you do that. If it gets by you, run scores, and Vogt gets in a scoring position himself, you want to make sure you keep that double play in order.
Butler gets into one down a left field line. It's hooking though, and it is foul.
Just a strike. Boy, all speed right down the heart of the plate as they're running on the inner half, and Butler brought his hands in, and luckily enough, it pulled it foul.
Breaking ball down and away.
So he's thrown a lot of sliders so far in this game against right-handed batters. He's thrown 17 pitches, a number of sliders to right-handed batters. The curveball, a couple curves to Vogt. Might this be huge for Weaver to get a ground ball double play.
Full count. Runner goes. Butler fouls it off to the right.
Trying to avoid the double play ball, Oakland is, by sending Vogt. Now if If you weave, you just hold the ball just enough to make him aware that you're paying attention to him over at first, and give Iannetta a chance to throw him out if you strike out Butler.
Good throw it. Vote easily back. Vote doesn't go this time. The 3-2's chopped to third. Freese comes charging in. His only place to first. And Foles scores. So it's 1-0 Oakland. Vote to second.
Talked about Freese have to come in on a slow roller, especially against right-handed batters out in front on the breaking ball. Did a nice job coming in on that baseball. Tried to be aggressive, but there's no way you're going to be able to turn a double play. Thought about maybe the play, but that would have been a tough throw off balance, and that throw would have probably ran right into Fold coming towards home, especially early in the game. Even though you're facing a tough pitcher in Sonny Gray, you have to take that out, avoid a potential big inning.
Ike Davis, the first baseman. Hughes one down the third base line. David Freese dives and knocks it down. That's all he could do. He was playing way off the line, and a perfect billiards hit for Ike Davis off the end of the bat.
That's a nice play by Freese. It said keep that ball from getting in the outfield, otherwise that's a run. Way out in front. We know Ike Davis pitched last night. That looks like a pitcher swing getting hit. Usually he hits the ball pretty good. That looked like a pitcher. He's still in that mode.
Just to be able to keep that ball in the infield. Otherwise, you're talking about a 2-0 lead for Oakland. So 2 outs, runners at the corners again. Here's Reddick, the right fielder. Reddick had the night off last night. Played in the opening game of the series, went 0 for 3. In the dirt. Davis not going anywhere. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. 1 strikeout, 3 hits allowed. Breaking ball. Missed a little bit high. 2 balls and 1 strike. 24 pitches thrown by Weaver. This one's in the air to left. Colin Cowgill comes jogging in. That'll do it for Oakland. They do strike for a run on 3 hits. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols coming up. With the Angels down 1-0. starting 9 for the Angels at 6-8 on the season. Cole Calhoun, leadoff spot in right field. Mike Trout at center. Albert Pujols at first. David Freese, a cleanup hitter at third base. Eric Ibar in short. Matt Joyce at DH. Colin Cowgill in left. Chris Sinetta behind the plate. And Johnny Giavotella batting ninth and playing second base as they take on the 25-year-old right-hander, native of Smyrna, Tennessee, by the name of Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray, really good fastball. He's 90, 95, slider, curveball, changeup. The keys to be successful against Sonny Gray is stay inside the baseball. He will pitch inside to both lefties and righties and balance in the lineup. We saw it last night with Calhoun and Giavotella. Great balance. That's how you score a lot of runs.
First one from Gray downstairs. Cole hitting .293 with a couple of home runs, 8 runs batted in. 4-hit game last night, matching a career high for him. 3 singles and a 3-run blast. Three starts for Sonny Gray. As Cole fouls this one off. 1-2. 1-0 record, a 2.11 ERA for the opening day starter.
Cole so far in his career has had a tough time against Sonny Gray. Just 2 for 16.
Cole has got a piece of that one to keep his at-bat alive.
Usually when he'll go upstairs with a fastball, especially against the left-handed batter, Gray will throw a curveball now. See if Cole can stay back on his curveball. If he throws it.
Foul at the plate, and that got vote. Check swing. They want an appeal. He went around. Marty Foster rings it up. And there's the first down here, the first.
And now it's time for Tools of the Trade. Brought to you by Ram Trucks with Mike Trout coming to the plate against Sonny Gray. He's had a little success against him last year in August. Got a breaking ball down and in. Hits it out up in Oakland. 4 for 14 in his career with 2 home runs, including that big fly right there in Oakland for Trout versus a very good pitcher, Sonny Gray.
.353 average for Mike. 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in. Had 1 hit last night. 1 for 3 with 2 walks. 1 was intentional. Fouled off to the right.
Well, I'm looking at it in left field. Mark Hanna plays really shallow in left field, especially with Trout. Plate. Sam Polk fairly shallow in center field. Reddick playing pretty deep in right.
One. Fouled off to the right. 1-2. Sonny Gray last year, 33 starts for Oakland. 14-10 with a 3.08 ERA. That was 8th best in the American League. Racked up 183 strikeouts. 3rd most in Oakland history by a pitcher 24 years of age or young. Reaching for that one. That's behind Vida Blue and Barry Zito.
Both had great curveballs. Lefties.
Cooled off a little bit Really, in the month of August, his ERA was just over 4. It's still great stuff. He slipped upon delivery there, and it's 2-2.
He tried to really rear back and fire that fastball, and then slipped.
Breaking ball, got him swinging. 2 down, back-to-back strikeouts for Greg.
So he threw him a curveball in that sequence, and then he finished him off with a hard slider. The reason why that was effective, too, is because that fastball, even though he slipped, it was downstairs, and it forces you as a hitter to track something towards the knee, and that's what Trout did on a slider and unable to make contact.
Albert takes downstairs. Pujols hitless last night. Lone starter without a hit. And 0 for 5. Average at 192. Oakland with a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the first. Albert skies this one. It's a shallow right. It's Eric Sogard, the second baseman, backpedaling out. The Angels go down in order. Right to the second with Oakland on top.
At El Pollo Loco, our new carne asada entrees start with fire-grilled steak with smoky chipotle.
Top of the second inning. Jared Weaver to face the bottom third of the order. Laurie, Sogard, and Simeon. Weaver threw 25 pitches in the first. 10 balls, 15 strikes. Brett Laurie, the third baseman, hitting .250, a home run and 3 runs batted in. 0 for 3 game last night. First one's outside.
2 for 5 in his career versus with a home run.
Breaking ball is in there. Lays off. Picked up. Josh Donaldson trade with the Toronto Blue Jays. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the 2-2. Lifted in the air to shallow right. Giavotella going out. Trout coming in. Trout can't see it. Now he does. Boy, for a second there, he threw the hands up. Wasn't sure of it. It's the first down here in the second.
Yeah, at the end of the inning, Sonny Gray went over to Mike Linsky about this little conversation would happen earlier. Throws the ball back, and Sonny wasn't quite looking at that point. Looked up the last second, caught it. Had a little conversation at the end. Said, I threw the ball. I thought you were looking at me. Remember Jim Wolf? He throws that rocket back. The umpire. Luckily, that was a good changeup that Sonny Gray caught at the last second.
Eric Sogard will look at his strike. Yeah, he's second base with 212, a couple of doubles, a couple of runs batted in, but very good numbers in his career against Weaver. 9 for 25. That's a .360 batting average. 0-2. A little bit high.
He's going to his slider quite a bit in this game. He's on a curveball already at 68. His changeup's been solid. He's also had a fastball now at 86.
Ground ball towards short. Ibar to the backhand has it. Plants low throw. Pujols digs it out.
What a play.
2 down.
Great pick by Pujols. And another baseball at the end of the bat with spin on it. And Ibar had to be quick. The one-hop throw over to first base. See how the ball is spun in his glove. Low throw, but Albert, great pick.
Dangerous play, too, as that ball is going toward the runner. And you see Sogard when he's running inside
the line and almost got his foot, too.
There's Marcus Semien. Shortstop. Takes outside. 236 average, a couple of home runs. 9 runs batted in. 0 for 3 last night. Homered in the opening game of this series on Monday. 1-1.
So getting back to a couple baseballs hit off the end of the bat by Ike Davis and even that one by Sogard. What that tells you early on is Weaver's fastball is good enough to get them out in front of the all-speed pitches, which is important for him.
Chopper back up the middle. Ibar to his left. Going to have to hurry with Sim. Bobble. The transfer from glove to bare hand was not clean. Semien will pick up an infield base hit with his speed.
And another baseball is not hit real well off the end of the bat. Slow roller, difficult play for Eric Ibar. Semien runs very well. At that point, it's a wise decision just to hold on to the baseball. Try to be quick on the transfer. Unable to get a good grip on the baseball. At that point, hold on to it. Mistakes happen when you force a throw when the guy's going to beat it out anyhow.
Sam Foltz singled and scored in the first inning.
Semien with 1 stolen base this season.
Semien takes off. It's on an off-speed pitch. Picked the right pitch to go on. And it's a stolen base. Second on the night for Oakland. Second for Semien. Not much you can do if you're a catcher in that situation.
Especially with a changeup. Pretty good jump. Pretty quick transfer by Iannetta, but no chance to get Semien. Slides in. Second stolen base of the game for Oakland. Now 9 for 9 so far this year in that category.
1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball. Topped over to second. Giavotella waits for Pujols. And top of the second is in the books. We'll head to the bottom of the second with Oakland leading at 1-0. better second inning for Jared Weaver. Not that he had a bad first inning, but as far as pitch count is concerned, threw 25 pitches in that first inning. A lot fewer in the second. Here in the second inning, it'll be Freese, Ibar, and Joyce. It's Sonny Gray who delivers a strike on Freese. There with a couple of strikeouts in the first inning.
Talked about David Freese on the pregame show about how well he stayed inside the baseball last night. He's going to need to do so today with that fastball from Sonny Gray inside.
No balls and 2 strikes. 16 pitches thrown by Gray. 12 have been strikes. Freese hitting .236, 3 home runs and 11 runs batted in.
Well, 8 career starts in the month of April for Sonny Gray. 5-1 with a 2.08 ERA for Sonny Gray in this month.
7th game, 6th start in his brief career against the Angels. 2 balls, 2 strikes. First round pick out of Vanderbilt. 11th overall in 2011.
He's not a big guy, but he generates a lot of power driving off that pitching rubber.
This is fouled back. Strong kid. Good arm. Quarterback in high school. Back-to-back state championships as a quarterback. Smyrna, Tennessee.
He competes like a football player on the mound, too. Very competitive. Mentioned earlier, pitches inside very, very well to lefties and righties.
That's out to the alley in right center field, and nobody's going to get this one. One hopper off the fence. Freese better hurry with Reddick throwing it in, and he does. It's a double.
Force him to have a head-first slide with that arm strength that Reddick has in right field. 15 outfield assists back in 2012 for Josh Reddick, which enabled him to win a Gold Glove that year.
Strong arm and accurate arm.
It's that good swing again, just letting the ball travel in his hands and out over the plate and driving that ball well. And Reddick got himself in great throwing position, a perfect throw. But Freese able to beat it out for a double, his 3rd of the year.
First base runner for the Halos. And Eric Ibar at the plate. Strike on the outside corner.
That's how smart Sonny Gray is. Goes fastball away. First pitch. Eric's trying to get a ball to the left side of the infield. Sonny Gray pitching away, forced him to hit the ball to the right side of the infield. That first pitch, though, was a little bit off the outside corner. Got the call.
Eric last night with a multi-hit game, 2 for 5. A couple of singles and an RBI. Yeah, the dirt, it gets away from Vogt. Actually goes over the short screen down into one of those dugout suites. So Freese advances on the wild pitch.
First wild pitch of the season for Sonny Gray. Overthrown fastball.
Look, people are going to say, well, why didn't he block it? Man, it's a low 90s fastball.
No, break a ball, you anticipate the ball being in the dirt. Fastball, you don't.
You're hoping it hits you and it stays around the plate. 2-1 now. This one pulled to first. Davis thought about throwing it home. Freese will score, and we're tied at 1 as Ibar picks up the RBI.
Good productive out for Eric. His 4th RBI of the season. It almost seemed like Davis didn't anticipate Freese going on contact. He might have had a play, especially with that arm we saw last night on the mound.
Yeah, and infield's playing back. Freese going on contact clearly.
But he thought about it, but at that point, he's already made a few steps in a more difficult throw.
Yeah, the only guy on the infield that was playing in was Brett Laurie at third base. So base is clear, and here's Matt Joyce at DH. He pulls the first one foul. Mike Scioscia was asked before the game as to why no C.J. Cron tonight. And with Weaver on the mound, Mike saying that he just wanted a better defense in the outfield. That's why Conlon isn't left. Cowgill. And Joy serving as a DH. With a left-handed bat in there. Joyce has not been able to get it going yet. 167 average. Has 3 doubles, 4 runs batted in. 7 for 42. One tie here in the second. Up and away.
It's a manufactured run by the Angels there. We talked about that, the need for that. Double, wild pitch, productive ground ball out to tie the game up.
And Joyce strikes out for round number 2.
Coming up later in the game, we'll check out the big news from around the majors on the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. Shark in the water in Chicago. And a great pitching matchup up north.
Two outs, nobody on it. Colin Cowgill. Colin hit a 194 home run, 2 doubles, 2 runs batted in.
There's a 2-seam fastball and a 4-seam fastball. The 4-seam has a little cut action to it. 2-seamer sinking at 94.
And a modified windup. There's not a whole lot of moving parts in the windup for Sonny Gray.
I was watching Corey Kluber go today for Cleveland. Very similar, just really quiet in mechanics. Allows you to hit your spots that much easier. If you're at home and you're a youngster, you want to be a pitcher, you look for guys that are quiet and compact on the mound.
This one out to right. Reddick is there. And the bottom of the second in the books, but the Angels do tie things up. Double but creates a wild pitch and an RBI ground out. It is a 1-1 tie.
Get ahead of
Hey folks, the Angels will host the Rangers on Friday at 7:05, and fans in attendance will receive an MVP blanket courtesy of Yokohama Tire while supplies last. Purchase your tickets today by visiting the Angels Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com.
Can't wait.
Snuggle up in that MVP blanket.
Oh, yeah.
You and your Eagles, buddy. Mike Trout.
In Chip, we believe.
Yeah. Mark Canha looks at a slow breaking ball for a strike. The left fielder punched out of the first, the only strikeout for Jared Weaver. This one's out towards center field. Trout is there. One down.
Catcher number 21 was Stephen Vogt.
Base is clear for Stephen Vogt. Singled his first time up. I thought you guys were pretty geeked up about your Tim Tebow signing.
Oh, yes. Extremely happy. We even have a Tebow pretzel back in Philly already.
I'm sure you've already ordered a dozen online already.
Don't you know?
Keep them in the freezer.
Oh, yes.
Only in Philadelphia, right?
Oh,
the
yes.
pretzels.
Yes.
One ball, two strikes. Weaver 13-9 in his career against Oakland. Last year was 2-2 with a 4.32 ERA, 4 starts. High fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul back. Looking at the numbers for Weaver from last year with the ERA and the 4 against Oakland, it's got to be more difficult. Yeah, obviously, when you're playing teams within your own division, starters are going to face teams multiple times. But as Weaver's career has kind of progressed from stages to stage, velocity-wise and command and stuff like that, tough to find a way to give that opposition something else to think about.
Yeah, they've seen so many of your pitches.
Right.
You even see them in spring training a number of times during the regular season. First 15 starts against Oakland, just 3-6 with a 3.45. Last 15, 10-3, 1.68 though for Weaver against them. But last year a little more effective for Oakland. And that's when trusting your fastball comes into play. You know, first pitch, throw a fastball, kind of try to keep it down and away, get a quick out so you can save that little extra fastball later in the game or that hard slider to get a swing and miss.
In years past, that 2-seamer in would be the pitch that he would gone to. He goes with a breaking ball here. Down goes Vogt. 2 outs.
That's a good hard slider once again. Great location. You're right, Victor. He doesn't feel the confidence in that 2-seamer. Good grip on the slider. Tight rotation. You think fastball, but that slight break. Perfect location. Even if he makes contact, will pull foul.
Would it be something that perhaps all right, fine, you don't feel confident in a certain pitch, but you have it. It's in the back pocket there. So the teams maybe aren't looking for that pitch anymore because in the past, it was there. And a left-hander batter, how many times do we see a left-hander batter just absolutely frozen with 2 strikes on that 2-seamer? To be able to at least once a game, twice a game in a crucial situation, here it is to a lefty batter.
You know what I would do, Victor, during my bullpen session? I would have a left-handed batter stand in there and just work on that pitch.
Butler shoots one out to right field. Cole Calhoun is there. He'll make the catch in a 1-2-3 inning for Weaver. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd with a 1-1 tie. Game 3 of this 4-game set against the Oakland Athletics. Chris Iannetta, Johnny Giavitello, and then Cole Calhoun to face Sonny Gray. Breaking ball upstairs. And before we went to break, you were mentioning as Butler skied out, fly ball to right field, about hitters standing in bullpens sessions. This one back up the middle. Sogard was shading Chris that way. And there is out number 1. The importance of having a person stand in the batter's box while you're throwing a ball.
Especially when you're missing on certain pitches. So you would have a batter stand in as a left-handed batter and switch over to a right-handed batter. What that allows you to do you visualize. Okay, if I'm going to throw that no-seam fastball, if I'm Weave, and I want to make sure I don't miss out over the plate, I'm throwing it towards the hitter, try to get towards the hip, and then bring it back and get the inside corner. When you have someone there to visualize, you're going to be more successful instead of having just throw the ball there with nobody there in your normal bullpen session. Same thing if you bring a right-handed batter, if you're a right-handed pitcher, you want to make sure when you throw your slider, it's not out over the plate. So you have a hitter standing in there, and it's good for the hitter too because he's tracking the baseball, but also allows you to make sure when you get on top of that slider, you go down and away and off the plate. Visualizing is so important for both the hitter and pitcher.
Giavitello will single out to center. You're not talking about the entire bullpen. You're just talking maybe last 10, 15 pitches. Even I've seen it a number of times as a pitcher's warming up for a start, where the bullpen catcher, because the regular catcher comes in, catches the last 10 or 15. Bullpen guy will just stand in the batter's box there, just hands down at his side, and just stand on both sides of the plate to give the pitcher a little visual there.
It really allows you to hit both sides of the plate. And when you have someone in there, it's much easier to think in terms, even in high school, I'm help out with pitching coach in high school. I had one of those mannequins that gets put up there where they visualize themselves as high school kids being able to hit spots. Now, with high school pitchers, I'm more apt not to stand in there and take one for the team, but when you have someone there, it allows you to think in terms of, all right, I got to force that fastball in. With someone standing there, that allows you to be able to do so.
Hence the mannequin in high school.
Yes. I tried it the other way. It didn't feel real good.
Calhoun, a strikeout victim in the first. 0 for 1. Hit by Giavitello, the second for the Angels. David Freese had a double leading off the second. Off the plate.
Sonny Gray's pretty quick to the plate. His time's around 115 to 125, which is very difficult to steal against him. But a lot of his pitches are down in the strike zone. He's the perfect guy to put a hit and run on, because anything down in the zone you can hit on the ground. When a defender moves out of his spot, resulting in a first and third.
Quick throw to first. Quick tag too by Davis.
Oakland's thinking the same thing, that a hit and run could be on.
The Angels have just 4 stolen bases on the season, 3 by Trout.
And also, Cole's had a tough time against Sonny Gray, so when you think in terms of a hit and run, all you're trying to do is track the baseball and make contact, hit it on the ground.
Two balls and 1 strike.
Perfect count right now to do so as far as a hit and run. Sonny Gray with 2 career pickoffs, 1 stolen base against him this year.
Doesn't go. That is downstairs. 3-1. Trout on deck. 3 punch outs. No walks. 2 hits allowed for Sonny Gray.
These are the counts that Mike Scioscia said after the game and on the pregame show he liked from his hitters last night. Put themselves into good counts to hit the baseball hard.
Cold foul. Full count now. Gray had a no decision his last time out. That was against Kansas City. Gave up 4 runs on 11 hits in 6 innings.
Good lead right there for Giavotella.
Johnny goes, and it's ball 4. Well, the first walk issued by the A's right-hander. They put a couple of men on for Trout. Fans, the Angels will take on the Texas Rangers on Saturday at 6:05. Join us for a pregame ceremony featuring all 3 Angels MVPs. All fans in attendance will receive an MVP collectible card set while supplies last. Purchase your tickets today at the Angels Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com. Trout struck out on the first inning on a breaking ball from Gray. He'll bat with runners at first and second and 1 out.
I don't know if he'll get a first pitch fastball. If he does, I think he might jump it. See if he can drive it.
Looked in off the plate, and it's a called strike. Trout now 4 for 15 in his career against Sonny Gray. 2 of those 4 home runs. Tied at 1. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. Breaking ball in there. 0-2.
Well, he hung that slider.
Giavotella, the base runner at second, and Calhoun at first. Fastball. Angels last night much better with men in scoring position, 5 for 13. As a team now batting .219 in those situations. Oh for 1 so far tonight, even though they've picked up a run. It was on the ground out by Ibar. 2-2. Fastball away, fastball in.
Now it looks like he'll probably go to a slider. Last time after a fastball, he threw a slider down and away. And last year, Sonny Gray with 15 wild pitches. He already has 1 wild pitch in this game. A lot of pitches down, a lot of pitches in the dirt.
Pujols on deck. 2-2. Goes fastball high. Full count now.
That fooled everyone. That was a pretty good pitch. Trouty did a nice job. He's done a real good job as far as not chasing that high fastball this season so far. And Mike Scioscia on a 3-2 count with 1 out as he sent him, but you got Albert Pujols on deck.
Long hold for Gray. Now time is called.
Most times you don't, especially with Pujols on deck. Give him a chance just in case Trouty strikes out to drive him home.
Runners don't go. The 3-2. It is ball 4. So they're loaded up for Albert.
Now it's time for T-Mobile Game Changer. Last season, 1 year ago today, Albert Pujols joined the 500 home run club. He had 2 home runs in that game. Second hit, his 500th home run as an Angel. Reggie Jackson did it. You remember it well. Nationals Park. Not only a home run, we're talking about a gigantic home run. That was a fun night. Special moment for Albert Pujols on his way to Cooperstown.
Albert rips one down the line. That is hooking foul.
But he hit this baseball hard and just hooked foul.
Oh, 1 count. Halos this year, just 2 for 4 with the bases loaded. Albert 0 for 1. Good speed on the bases too. Giavitello at third, Calhoun at second, Trout at first. 0-1 pitch downstairs. Outfield straight around with Albert at the plate. Reddick maybe in a couple of steps in right. Single by Giavitello, then back-to-back walks to Calhoun and Trout. Breaking ball.
Still pulling off that breaking ball off the outside corner. That was a tough one. Now it's important for Trout to get a good size lead at first base, just in case Albert hits one on the ground. That would break up a potential double play ball.
Downstairs. A fastball. It sounded like it hit the shin guard of Vogt.
It's a couple fastballs that he's just pulled down in the dirt for Sonny Gray in this game. And he lives downstairs with his fastball. 93-94, but starts in the knee and sinks. Although his four-seam fastball upstairs.
Gray's thrown 20 pitches so far this inning. 52 now in the ball game. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Here's the pitch. And he got him on a breaking ball in the dirt. Very defensive swing by Albert. 2 down. 4th strikeout now for Gray.
Well, this pitch not anywhere near the plate. The pitch before, similar to what he got Trout to swing at, a slider was down after a pitch before in the dirt with a fastball. And this pitch almost, well, right on the plate.
Almost one of those that's never really in the strike zone coming out of the hand.
It's almost as if you're anticipating a fastball that you were committed to trying to catch up to a fastball, got a slider instead.
Graves takes inside. David doubled to the alley in right center field, leading off the second, and scored the lone Angels run. Oakland got their run in the first inning. Single. Pardon me, on a ground out by Butler. As a matter of fact, that's how both runs have been scored tonight. The RBI ground out. Jabbed him and it's popped up. Sogard into shallow right. The Angels blow a golden opportunity with the bases loaded and 1 out. 3 complete. Tied at 1. the fourth inning. Jared Weaver back to work here. And Oakland will send up 5, 6, and 7. Davis, Reddick, and Laurie. 2 strikeouts, no walks, 4 hits allowed for Jared. At a 1-2-3 third. Davis working a strike. Ike had a base hit infield variety out in front of an off-speed pitch and just cued it down the third base line. It's a linea in the box score.
Oh yeah. But I like that when you see when hitters are out in front against Weaver. That means he's shown enough on his fastball to make them commit to look for a fastball and then get him out in front on his off speed.
This is out toward right center, and that'll fall in for a base hit.
He's out in front once again. This time he flicked it in the right field.
Take a look at the Honda upcoming schedule. One more against Oakland. That is tomorrow afternoon, late afternoon, a 4 o'clock start. When the Rangers roll into town for the first of 3 on Friday night. And it's off to the Bay Area. Off day on Monday. 3 against Oakland, 3 against the Giants. Reddick shows bunt, pulls it back. Fly ball to left field for Reddick in the first. Jared threw 25 pitches in the first, 15 in the second, 12 in the third. Ground ball toward the middle. Giavotella dives and it goes off his glove and into center. Davis will head to third, and it's back-to-back singles to start this 4th inning for Oakland. They'll have runners at the corners with nobody out.
Just off the glove of Giavotella. And because of that deflection, it allows Davis to cruise into third base. He makes that play. There's a chance of potential double play ball flipping up the Ibar, but just off the glove instead, first and third.
No, you'd hate to have that bottom of third come back to haunt. Bases loaded, 1 out, get nothing out of it, and all of a sudden, next half inning, the A's with 2 men on.
Well, how often do we say that the momentum shift when you are on the defensive side and your pitcher gets you through the inning, no damage done? Your offense feels a lot better about going on the attack the very next half inning.
Brett Laurie 0 for 1, hit a fly ball to center. It's first time up. He'll look at a breaking ball for a strike. Danger zone.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing. That's a very difficult spot to get away with that pitch. That's a good curveball. Through a slider, got away with it, but that curveball was perfect at 69.
Well, you'd love a strikeout here to give yourself an opportunity against Sogard, even though he's got good career numbers against Weaver.
He's always been a great strikeout pitcher throughout his career. Weaver could use it here.
Quick throw to first. Reddick back. Six hits for Oakland. Up and in. Evens up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's Sogard. Oakland with their run in the first inning. The Angels with theirs in the second.
Think about Laurie. He can get a fastball up and make good contact with it.
That's 84 miles per hour on that fastball, and Laurie late on it because he's looking off speed. Wasn't anticipating another fastball, another backed up fastball.
I wouldn't mess around with a fastball now, though. Slider.
Reddick takes off. This one's popped up behind the plate. Out of play. So Reddick will head back. Oakland starting Reddick to try to get out of that, or stay out of a potential double play situation.
Part of it too is anticipating something off speed, whether it's a curveball or a slider. As a base stealer, you have a better chance of being successful stealing the base on something off speed.
Reddick doesn't go this time. 2-2 swing and a miss. Down goes Laurie. There's out number one.
Real good sequence by Weaver against Laurie to try to get a strikeout. Some high fastballs, finish them off with a breaking pitch in the dirt. He's pulling off that pitch. Great location. Good job by Iannetta keeping in front of him also. The grip and then the snap. Slider in the dirt. Huge strikeout for Weaver.
Here's Sogard who grounded out to Ibar in the second. Both middle infielders in a couple of steps. I know they got to be quick with Sogard hustling down the line. Davis over at third, Reddick at first. First one's up and away.
He has rolled into one double play this year.
Ground ball, Pujols to the backhand, comes home. It's going to be a tag play with Davis. 2 down.
Well done. I like that move by Pujols because you don't know if you're going to be able to turn. That's a long throw, and if Sogard runs well down the line, you get that play at the plate. There's a reason why he's won a couple Gold Gloves in his career. I think that's the right decision. I don't know if you turn a double play. Comes in on the baseball. It's a longer throw, perfect throw to Iannetta, who runs back Davis and allows David Freese to apply the tag, and the runner couldn't get to third base. Reddick. Quick job as far as a rundown.
So 2 outs, 2 on. There's Marcus Semien. He's singled in the second. Oh, and 1. Semien and Mark Canha, the left fielder, college teammates at Cal.
Pretty good team.
Semien being acquired in the offseason. Trade with the White Sox. Jeff Smarja deal. 0-1. Upstairs. Canha was a trade with the Rockies. After the Rockies took him as a Rule 5 selection out of, or from the Marlins organization. 1-1 on the way. That has hit the left field. Calgill had him positioned perfectly. And Weaver gets out of trouble.
Great play by Calgill. That's why he's out there. Mike Scioscia put for that defense.
Angels baseball is brought to you by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more. One tie here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Eric Ibar will lead things off.
Both pitchers work their magic to get through the innings. They're half inning with no damage done. Reason why they're that good, hitting their spots, making quality pitches, and no damage.
Ibar with an RBI is fourth in the second inning. Ground down. Shows bunt, looks at a strike on the breaking ball. It's 0-2. Chopper back to the mound. Gray has it. One down.
Time now for the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Angels A's always play well within a division. The Angels and the A's have won 11 of the last 13 AL West titles. And back and forth between the two, and then the Rangers had a couple in there in 2010 and 11, but other than that, it's been dominated by the Angels and the A's, this division.
Matt Joyce, a strikeout victim in a second.
Well, you can look at Matt Joyce. He just keeps telling himself to stay back, stay back. Don't drift forward. Keep your hands through the hitting zone.
He's always been a pull hitter, but he is trying to pull absolutely everything. Two down.
He's almost caught in between. In spring training, the talk was play against lefties, get a lot of at-bats. It's going to be his goal to be able to hit the ball to the middle the other way and stay back and drive the ball on the outside part of the plate. And then all of a sudden he's missing his pitches he normally would hit on the inner half of the plate, where we saw all those years with Tampa. Generally crushes anything on the inner part of the plate, so he's caught in between what to do. Don Baylor's been talking to him about this. Try to get your pitch, do damage. Don't think too much at the plate.
Breaking ball first pitch to Collin. He fouls it off. Calgill getting to start in left field. Hit a fly ball to right in the second. No balls and two strikes. Gray threw 22 pitches in the third inning. Angels wasting a golden opportunity. Gray had a couple of walks to load the bases there. Pujols struck out, pitch in the dirt, and Freese popped out as he got jammed. Down goes Calgill, and the Angels go down in order. Fifth strikeout of the night for Sonny Gray. We'll head to the fifth, and it is still 1-1. EPA estimate 31 highway miles per gallon. Visit Jeep.com for more information. And by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better. Call 1-855-1-TWC. Top of the 5th inning. Good pitchers duel as we expected between Weaver and Gray. 1-1 time. Oakland with the top of their order coming up here in Folds, Canna, and Vogt. That pitch apparently missed outside. Sam Fold 1 for 2. A single, a stolen base, and a run scored in the first. Grounded out to Giavatello in the second.
That looked like that no-seam fastball. We were talking in between innings. He's the guy you have to experiment that pitch with. So those guys in the dugout know that you have that pitch.
Out toward right field. Cole Calhoun is there.
Came right back with it again. The reason why we say that because Sam Fold is a solid hitter, but he doesn't have a ton of power. So if you throw that no-seam fastball and it runs out like that last one enough that you can still keep it in the ballpark, but that pitch before was very effective for him. And then it's setting up in. That's a no-seam fastball starting off the hip and good running action towards the end of the bat. And you get a fly ball out. It was elevated, but still hitters will now remember that he has that pitch once again and he's going to use it during the course of the game.
.72 pitches for Jared. Canna will look at a strike. 0 for 2 with a punch out and a fly ball to left. One ball, one strike.
You see the youngster kind of out in front on that curveball, trying to track it, but he's still moving forward.
Oakland with a run, 6 hits, no errors, 5 left on. The Angels with 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. Two.
Spot him with the fastball. Talking about a key for him. Painting it black on the outside corner.
Two all the way. That's a shot to right. Good piece of hitting by Canna. That pitch was up in the zone, and he didn't miss it.
He stayed back well on that fastball away. You know, a lot of times you think you might be able to get away with that fastball up because he's got to, in terms of think of a slider down and away. Got him that first time to chase a pitch out of the zone on that pitch. He kept his hands back very well on that one.
Stephen Vogt catching tonight. Caught the opening game of the series Monday. Was at first base last night. He's had a 1 for 2 night. Azusa Pacific product. We'll take outside. The Angels did make a move before the game today. Matt Shoemaker was placed on the bereavement list. His grandfather passed away. Angels called up Nick Tropiano, and the Angels acquired in the offseason from the Astros in exchange for Hank Conger, and Nick will pitch tomorrow. C.J. Wilson will get pushed back to Saturday.
A little bit of tenderness in the elbow for C.J. Wilson. Was supposed to start the game tomorrow. Pushed back till Saturday.
Two and one. Garrett Richards will get the start on Friday. It's a Texas series.
Santiago on Sunday.
2-1 out to center. Trout is there.
Good change out. 2 down.
Hey, folks, you can follow the Angels all season long with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. It is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCasts, and much, much more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet today. Go Angels is right.
Yes.
Cool night. Midweek ball game. 4 o'clock start tomorrow.
Well, if you're a pitcher, you're raising your hand up and say, I love to start that game. Very difficult for hitters to track a baseball at that time of the night. At least probably through the first 3 or 4 innings. Pitcher at the advantage with shadows coming into play.
Butler looks at a breaking pitch for a strike. Billy's 0 for 2. Ground ball RBI in the first inning and a fly to right in the third. 9 runs batted in now for Butler. Canna takes off. Butler looks at a strike to throw down, not in time. Canna had a big jump. It's the 3rd stolen base on the night for Oakland. 2nd for Canna on the season.
They've guessed right on every single occasion as far as trying to steal the base. Each time it's been an off-speed pitch. Huge jump. 2nd stolen base of the year for him.
Here comes the 0-2. Off speed. And a shot into the seats down the right field line. Count remains at no balls, 2 strikes. Conversation between Iden and Weaver here.
.84 pitches thrown, 25 of them in that first inning. It's been a battle throughout for Weave. Trying to scatter. 7 hits has allowed 1 run so far. Trying to get through this inning.
Breaking ball. Missed upstairs. Halos in the bottom of the 5th. We'll have Iannetta, Giavitelli, Calhoun coming up. Weaver at 85 pitches right now. Ike Davis on deck. Breaking ball hit to short. Ibar fields it cleanly. Butler sauntering down the line. And it's the 3rd out here. The 5th will head to the bottom of the inning. Still tied at 1. by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts or descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Angels. Chris Iannetta leading things off for the Angels here. Fouls off the first pitch. That's an 0-1 count. Iannetta 0 for 1. He grounded out to second his first time up. Sonny Gray with 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, 2 hits allowed. Pretty much another typical Sonny Gray ball game.
Does everything well. He fields his position well. Keeps all his pitches downstairs. Elevates when he wants to. That didn't feel real good at Stephen Rowe. That got him right on the arm. That hard breaking ball. And try to walk it off.
Two balls, 1 strike. This one's out to shallow right. Sogard is there. 1 down.
Sogard can cover some ground playing second base.
Yeah. And 6 in a row retired by Sonny Gray. Since the walk to Trout loaded the bases with 1 out in the 3rd. We say all the time with good pitchers usually are given 1 opportunity. There's that 1 inning or 1 stretch there where you need to capitalize.
And then to get blocked back in.
Jim Attella down the right field line. Long run for Reddick. Looks like he's got a beat on it. He'll make the catch on the track. 2 outs.
He can cover some ground. Nice read on that. He looked exactly where the wall was going to be able to reach and catch it before he ran into the wall. Solid play by the former Gold Glover.
Colo for 1, a strikeout and a walk. 69th pitch of the night for Sonny Gray is a strike.
Now but at 95. And 95 at the knees, outside corner.
That's a shot over to third, and Brett Laurie is there. And another 1-2-3 inning for Sonny Gray. 5 in the books. We're still tied at 1. by Chevrolet.
We are tied at 1 here. Top of the 6th. As anticipated, a great pitcher's duel so far. Back to my Hyundai key for this game today for Weaver. Back in black. Painting it on the outside corner on the black. Inside, outside, up and down in that strike zone. Change speeds. So far, so good for Weaver.
He'll face 5, 6, and 7 for Oakland in the 6th inning. Davis, Reddick, and Laurie. Tyke Davis 2 for 2 with a couple of singles.
Right on the black.
No balls, 2 strikes. This is out to shallow center field. Here comes Mike Trout, and he'll make the catch. And hung up just enough for Mike to get there. 1 down.
3 straight fastballs. Going upstairs. Fly ball out. Finally getting him out tonight. Trout coming in hard to make that play. And that head still, which is so important when you're running that fast, to come in and catch a fly ball. It allows you to keep your eyes still and be able to keep the focus on the baseball into your glove.
Reddick 1 for 2 with a fly ball to left and a single. And it's a single out to right center field. Cole, it's over, cuts it off. Reddick will stop. Second hit of the night.
8th hit in the game for the A's against Weaver. Quite a few hits this year coming into the game. 21 hits and 16 in the 3rd innings pitched for Weaver. For his career batting average against Weaver, 235, but coming in this game, 309 hitters against Weaver this year.
Brett Laurie takes that pitch inside. He's 0 for 2 with a fly ball to center and a punch out.
Oakland with 3 stolen bases already in this game.
To your point about the hits that he's been giving up, his whip coming into tonight, 1.53, which is high for Weaver. This hit to short, should be 2. High bar to Giavotella, to Pujols in time. Inning-ending double play.
Great defense, picking up Weave. Huge double play ball.
Trout, Pujols, and Freeze coming up. The sixth inning tied at 1. The Angels have 2, 3, and 4 coming up. It's Trout, Pujols, and Freese. Between innings, we saw this.
And we were telling Mike Scioscia he's got one more in him. And Scioscia going to go to the bullpen, but I like that from Weave. He wants to stay in the game. That tells me that he's feeling good. He loves to be able to have that opportunity to compete against a very good team in the Oakland A's. You want that from your ace. And Mike Scioscia wants that from him. Wants to see that fire back. I like that a lot. As they're high-fiving and patting him on the back, he wants to still compete. And that's what you want from your ace. Now, I wouldn't want to be in his way right now either as he's going up to the clubhouse, but that's what you want. You want to see that fire.
Two-0 to Trout. Upstairs, 3 balls and no strikes. Mike is 0 for 1. He struck out on the first, walked in the third.
On Trouty, I'm hacking here 3-0. He's got 2 career home runs against Sonny Gray.
Hacked to 3-0. Skies went to center. Just got it in enough on the hands. 1 out.
He had a pretty good swing at it too. Just enough movement. He's got it inside the bat. Enough.
Breaking ball in for a strike. Pujols 0 for 2. Pop up and a strikeout. One and one.
Very similar pitch. He got him to swing and miss with the bases loaded. His last at bat.
Howard lines one out to left field. Canna comes in and to his right makes the catch. 2 outs. And that was a mistake slider.
And you throw enough of those sliders, eventually you're going to hang one on occasion. Hit that one well, but right at Canna in left field.
Looks like Fernando Salas getting ready for the Angels. The pitch is 7th. Fernando much better the last time out. 8, 9, and 1 due up for Oakland in the 7th inning.
That's a perfect pitch. David looking somewhere on the outer part of the plate. That fastball, that's his spot where he can either hit that to center field or even turn on it to left. And because a lot of times when you're a hitter, you miss your pitch. Pitchers, real good pitchers, realize that. And you're going to throw something out of the zone and you're going to commit to that because you're upset with yourself for not attacking that first pitch.
That's the one in the zone you're going to get in that at bat.
Exactly.
The Angels go down in order. That is 11 in a row retired by Gray since that bases loaded situation. solution to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast, free quote and see how much you could save. And by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. 1-1 ties. We begin the 7th here at the Big A. Game 3 of a 4-game series. Fernando Salas takes over on the mound for Jared Weaver. That is our in and out, who's in, who's out. Salas comes in to kind of keep things in check here. He'll pitch in his 7th ball game. No record of 5.40 ERA, 6 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 7 strikeouts, and 1 walk. And I mentioned that he pitched better the last time out, at least command-wise. Did give up a run in the 9th inning of Monday's game, but went 2 innings, allowed a hit and struck out 2. Better fastball and command.
When his fastball is there and hitting his spots, it sets up his changeup, which is a very good one, and a good slider also. A great game by Weave. Once again, battling back, 6 solid innings.
Sogard fouls it back. Weaver went 6 innings tonight. 8 hits, 3 strikeouts, no walks, 1 run. It was earned. But overall, a good performance, especially when he got into a little bit of trouble. Not only in the 1st inning, limiting it to just 1 run, but also in the 4th, back-to-back singles, putting runners at the corners with nobody out. Got a strikeout, a fielder's choice, and a fly ball to left. Sogard flips one out to shallow center. And Salas gives up a leadoff single.
And the most difficult thing to do as a manager is take a pitcher out of the game, especially your ace, a guy that's as competitive as Jared Weaver is. Tough decision for Soch to make at that point, but felt better to be able to go to the bullpen at this point, although Weaver certainly wanted to stay in the game.
A little surprising to see Salas in this situation. He was kind of that guy last year when he was going good. But maybe this is kind of a and I know I'm going to get buttercup to death here, a build you up moment for Fernando Salas.
Well, he had a lot of those pressure games last year and did really well. So you know who your 8th and 9th inning guys are.
I know that's your favorite song.
No question. I feel much better now.
Marcus Semien 1 for 2 with a single and a fly ball to left. Sogard takes off to throw down to second base. Nobody's covering. Fortunately, Ibar backed up on the play. So miscommunication there. And it's a stolen base for Sogard. The 4th stolen base on the night for Oakland.
When a quick throw and on the base with the throw from Mayanetta, that's what you got to do. I think they have a shot at Sogard if somebody's there to cover. That communication has to be there between the middle infielders. Judging by Ibar being back, he thought that Giavitello was supposed to be there at the bag. And you can see what Iannetta saying, nobody's at the bag. That was a perfect throw, right on the base.
Semien showing butt now, chops one on the ground. Chris Iannetta will pick it up, throw to first. Get the out, the sacrifice advances Sogard to third.
That's going to force the infield in now.
With Sam Fold coming up.
Well, there's always that possibility of a suicide squeeze being put on. It's a little easier to defend with a left-handed batter up because you can, as a pitcher, once you hear from one of your infielders, well, they're going to walk him here instead.
Cesar Ramos, the lefty's back up and loosening. First walk of the night for Angels pitching. And it's Mark Canha coming up, left fielder. 1 for 3, singled in the 5th inning. Good speed.
They may play the middle infielders halfway.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Especially after the walk to Fold. You also got to pay attention to Fold stealing right from the get-go.
Run well today with 4 stolen bases.
Now what that does, obviously, I mean, you got Ramos to face Vogt. So if Salas doesn't get the double play ball here, I would imagine that Ramos is in the ball game. And even if he does get him, I think Cesar comes in to face Steve.
Yes.
You got back-to-back, or pardon me, lefty-righty-lefty after Canna's at the plate.
That's 0-2. What a great spot on that fastball. Looked like initially Chris Iannetta put down the changeup sign, but Fernando wanted to throw a fastball and located it perfectly on the outside corner. Shook off again, changeup for fastball away.
0-2. Fastball misses.
Good miss. What that does on an 0-2 pitch fastball just off the outside corner, as a hitter, you know it's close. Now you have the option, if you feel comfortable with your slider, you can throw that slider off the outside corner to get a swing and miss. Now a hitter's tracking, he thought that was pretty close, that you have to protect.
His fastball in, and he got him looking. 2 down. Locked him up.
What a pitch. Had him thinking something away and paints the inside corner. It's a big strikeout.
That's going to be it for Fernando. Mike Scioscia going to the bullpen with Stephen Vogt coming to the plate. Cesar Ramos will come in. Both base runners responsible, or belong, I should say, to Salas. He goes 2/3 of an inning. 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. We'll see if Cesar Ramos can finish it off here. Keep this a 1-1 tie.
He's been really good as far as that coming in the game.
Stephen Vogt went back to the dugout to get that scouting report from the bench to see what Ramos is going to feature here.
Now it's time for the Carl's Jr. Sports Update around the majors. The Shark attack on Lake Michigan. Jeff Samardzija picked up his first victory as a Chicago White Sox. With 6 shutout innings, aces do battle by the Bay. Kershaw versus Bumgarner. Early on, Bumgarner with the lead. 2-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Madison Bumgarner still dealing. Pitching well against the Dodgers. But going back to Samardzija, I looked at that game earlier today. He was facing Kluber in the game. He was 9-24 in his career in day games, Samardzija, with an ERA 4.70, but threw the ball well, and it was 43 degrees in Chicago today.
It was snowing like 15-20 minutes before the game in Detroit. Yankees and the Tigers.
And when you're a hitter facing Kluber and Samardzija with that movement on the fastball, your fingers feel real good when you get it off the end of the bat.
Cesar Ramos 1-0, no ERA in 6 games so far this year. 4 innings, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. First appearance for him in this series. He last pitched on Sunday against the Astros, went 2/3 of an inning in that one. Eric Sogard, the base runner at third base. Sam Full, the base runner at first, with 2 outs here in the 7th, a 1-1 tie. And here comes Stephen Vogt, the catcher, 1 for 3. Single back in the first inning. Chris Iannetta having a long conversation. As Vinny Pistano begins to loosen just in case, with Billy Butler on deck. Vinny pitched 1 inning last night. Careful with Vogt with that first pitch swinging too if you decide to groove a fastball. First pitch is down low.
That was a pretty good pitch.
Yeah.
That was a strike.
Chris caught it on the way down.
Yeah, that got a lot of the strike zone. As a catcher, you got to try to frame it, give the umpire a little better look at times to get that call.
Sogard led off the 7th with a base hit. Stole second, was sacrificed to third. Fold was walked. One ball, one strike.
Now we get in the lower part of the strike zone. Middle part of the plate. Again, where it crosses the front of the plate, not where the catcher catches the baseball.
And the groans you hear from anybody when you get that on that low pitch is because you see a catcher bring it up. And if you feel as a fan you're sitting there watching a catcher do that, and the catcher himself doesn't feel like it's a strike and he's trying to show it to the umpire as a strike. 1-1. Vogt pulls one into right field, a base hit. Oakland back on top. Fold will head to third, and it's 2-1 A's. And with a fastball in, and Vogt picks up his 13th RBI.
Went 3 straight fastballs to him. His fastball stayed on the inner half of the plate. As a lefty hitter, you're kind of hoping the fastball's on the inner half of the plate away. More difficult to make contact. Almost hit full with that one hopper. So should back out to the bullpen now.
So that run gets charged to Fernando Salas, and he's also responsible for Sam Foltz standing at third base. It's Vinny Pistano sprinting in from the bullpen. Pitching change. 2-1 Oakland.
Ramos couldn't get that ground ball out at an infielder. Mike Scioscia forced to go down to the bullpen once again and bring in Vinny Pistano, who's been very good so far this year, just like last year wearing that Angel uniform. This will be his 7th game. 5 2/3 innings pitched. No earned runs allowed.
17 pitches last night. He pitched a scoreless 8th inning. Billy Butler up, 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. Butler 0 for 3. Did pick up an RBI, his 9th back in the 1st inning. 2-1 Oakland, 7th. Slider gets away from Iannetta, and it is 3-1. An overthrown breaking ball. And Fold will score, and that'll put Vogt at second. So close the book on Salas.
He's trying to make the perfect pitch in an overthrown slide. That's in a left-handed batter's box. Nothing really that Chris Iannetti can do on that pitch.
Two balls and no strikes. Three balls and no strikes. Ike Davis on deck. Three and one. Salas gets charged with 2 runs, both third and 2/3 of an inning. 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. In the air to center field, hit well. Trout back at the wall. That is gone. It is 5-1 Oakland as they have opened it up here in the 7th inning. Butler with his 3rd home run of the season.
That's a long way to center field for Butler. With 10 RBI on the season. Weaver did a real good job with him earlier in the game, getting out in front on some all-speed pitches, spotting his fastball against him, but a good hitter's count. And Butler didn't miss it. Right down the heart of the plate. And that's the approach you have as a hitter. Middle of the plate, go up the middle. Trout did everything he could to try to get back there to the wall. Too far over it.
Well, hindsight is always 20/20. And who knows how things would have played out, but Jared Weaver didn't want to come out of this game.
Not at all.
Three relievers combined here in the 7th, giving up 4 runs. Ramos gives up a run. Castano charged with a run. Chopper. Right side, Giavotella. Even if it gets to, he's not going to have a play. It's a base hit for Ike Davis, a 3-hit game for him. So Josh Reddick will bat here the 7th. He'll be the 8th man to step to the plate. Angels bullpen have been pretty good for the most part this year.
Well, last night it was the 6th inning for the Angels, the big inning. Here in the 7th, a big inning for Oakland with 4 runs.
Reddick with a couple of hits himself. Oakland has picked up 12 hits tonight. So no 1 count. Butler now has reached safely in all 16 games for Oakland this year. He homered last night as well as Reddick hooks one down the right field line. That is a fair ball. Calhoun plays the carom perfectly, gets the baseball back in, and stopping at third base is Davis, so it's a double for Reddick.
Reddick with 3 hits, Davis with 3 hits tonight.
The A's hit parade continues here in the 7th. Five-1 A's. Butcher's going to go out. Nobody warming up for the Angels. 2 key points so far in this ball game. Go back to the third, a 1-1 game. Bases loaded, 1-out situation for the Angels. Pujols strikes out. Freese gets jammed and pops up. The Angels haven't done anything since then. 11 straight batters retired by Sonny Gray. And then, of course, now this 7th inning. Weaver lasting 6 innings, and clearly, just by our indication, looked like he wanted to come back out for the 7th. And it certainly has not worked out the way that Mike Scioscia intended. We're at the top of this frame.
Especially how Sonny Gray has locked it in himself. Mentioned how many in a row for him.
Yeah.
I mean, these are quality pitches, too. They weren't squared up baseballs at infielders or outfielders. They're just perfect pitches he's been throwing since that bases loaded jam.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Laurie, the third baseman. 0 for 3. And a double play ball that ended the 6th. Weaver gave up 8 hits, 8 singles tonight. Oh, 2. Breaking ball pulled to third. Freese smothers it, gets away from him, and it's 6-1. That's an infield base hit with an RBI.
Hit well again by Laurie. Last at bat, he hit a ball real well to shortstop. Especially the way Laurie runs down the line, it's going to be difficult to get up and make that play once you leave your feet if you're David Freese.
Laurie picks up his fourth RBI of the season. As it batted around, Sogard fouls off the first pitch. Started this inning off with a base hit. Softly hit the center. Picked up a stolen base and scored the go-ahead run. 6-1 Oakland in the 7th. Five 2-out runs scored by the A's here in the 7th. And Sogard flips one out to shallow right field. Calhoun is there. And this top of the 7th is in the books. But Oakland retakes the lead with a 5 spot. They lead it 6-1. 7th inning. Sonny Gray had to sit for a while. He'll face Ibar, Joyce, and Cowgill here in the 7th inning for the Angels. First one's upstairs. Eric Ibar 0 for 2, picked up his 4th RBI. He's back in the 2nd inning. Ibar swinging through that breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
A long half inning for Sonny Gray to sit on the bench, but right away coming back with some quality pitches. Head of the count now against Eric Ibar on that good curveball.
Ground ball to Ike Davis. Sonny Gray is there. 1 out. Stay tuned later tonight in the postgame show for the business of sports. Brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by AutoNation Toyota Buena Park. Matt Joyce 0 for 2. Strikeout and a ground ball to second. Pulled foul. Joyce 0 for his last 14. Last hit was last Wednesday against Texas. Multi-hit game for him in that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm curious to listen in on the postgame show to hear Scioscia's comments about that 7th inning, and more specifically the decision to go with Salas. This was lifted in the air on the third base side, headed to the seats. I only say that because in a 1-1 game at home especially, Mike's always played it pretty much by the books. His 7th, 8th, 9th inning guys, you play it as if, you know, it's usually Morin, has been anyway, Morin to Smith to Street. And then if you're still tied, then it's a pick 'em, and we'll go from there.
Maybe the conversation has been, and he's been asked about Mike Morin being the 7th inning guy. He has not committed to that yet.
Well, Fernando Salas certainly hasn't pitched like a 7th inning guy yet this year.
Yeah, inconsistent for him. And get back to Mike Warren, I think Mike Scioscia would like to see him more consistent against left-handed batters. You had Sogard leading off. And Weaver threw 93 pitches in his 6th inning, which is a season high, although that's not normally high for Weaver.
And with Sogard leading off, Sogard's got good career numbers against him. But just one of those things that you kind of look back on.
Yeah.
It's 1 ball game. And, who knows what the reasons are. Morin right now is warming up in the pen. Looks like he'll pitch the 8th. So I was going to say maybe it's an issue that Mike wasn't available, but clearly is. It's popped up on the left side of the infield. Brett Laurie on the grass, puts it away. 2 outs. Colin Cowgill will come to the plate.
And getting back to Matt Joyce, just trying to stay back long enough and drive that this got underneath it again, is pulled off the baseball, dropping the headed bat. You can see the frustration by him. Generally when he's swinging well, he's getting the bat head out quickly and out in front. a little bit of a loopy swing there, and that's what forces the pop up in the infield for Matt Joyce.
Fastball away. 92nd pitch of the night for Sonny Gray, who's been as advertised. I mean, you know, going into a start with Sonny Gray on the mound that you're going to have to scratch out a couple of runs against him.
He doesn't give up any home runs. His 15 last year and over 200 innings pitched. So you're going to have to bunch some hits together. He doesn't walk guys. Difficult to steal against him because he's quick to the plate. But when you're given an opportunity to score, you have to capitalize, and that's what happened early in the game for the Angels back in the third inning where they had a chance. But he made some quality pitches, a nasty slider to get a swing and miss against Albert Pujols.
Cowgill strikes out swinging. And that is 14 consecutive batters retired by Sonny Gray. We'll head to the eighth. It is 6-1 Oakland.
I like fun as much as any.
(6-1) Oakland leads at top of the eighth inning. Mentioned 14 straight batters retired by Sonny Gray, and that is since that walk to Mike Trout to load the bases up in the third inning.
He was having a conversation down there with Kurt Young, the pitching coach for the A's. Doesn't seem like he's done yet either. Kurt Young has done a fantastic job over the years with this Oakland club. Did very good, then left to go to Boston, came back as the pitching coach. Mike Morin in the game now for the Angels, his eighth game, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs.
Here in the eighth inning, he'll face 9-1-2 Simeon, Fold, and Canna. First fastball is downstairs. Went back and looked at Morin's numbers from last year, which may have been a reason why it played into the 7th inning decision against Oakland. Pitched in 8 games. This was back up the nose, base hit. 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs all earned. That's a 9.53 ERA. So I mean, obviously, there's always a reason.
With all those stats available as a staff, you know, he will bench coach going through those different scenarios along with Mike Butcher to Mike Scioscia when it comes to those decision making times, who to go to in the bullpen. You know you're locked into that 8th and 9th spot for sure with Joe Smith and Houston Street.
Sam Fold will look at a fastball for a strike. He's 1 for 3 tonight with a single and a walk. 2 runs scored for Fold. Start at center. I would imagine Vinny Pistano unavailable for tomorrow's game. And Tropiano getting the start. Matt Shoemaker being placed on the bereavement list. T.J. Wilson came out of his last start with tenderness, soreness. I think stiffness was the word that Mike Scioscia used. And his pitching elbow as Morin gives up back-to-back hits to start this 8th inning. So CJ is going to be pushed back till Saturday. Originally slated to start tomorrow.
Especially thinking how well left has pitched against Oakland, and
right.
how well CJ has pitched overall in his career against Oakland.
Well, he said it in spring training that if something's bothering him, he's not going to hide it or try to suck it up and go out there. He said he's going to let people know. I guess that's a good thing, so that you don't go out there and all of a sudden you're not at 100%.
And only getting pushed back a couple of days,
right.
Also not
right.
missing a complete start.
Low throw by Aneta, but Morin gloves it. Canna, the left fielder, has had a 1 for 4 game. Singled in the 5th inning. Boy, Oakland tonight, 16 hits. The breaking ball.
They certainly have swung the bat well this season. Usually they're at the bottom as far as batting average, but they're always up there as far as home runs and runs scored. But they're 4th coming into this game in batting average.
This is their 16th game of the season. Their 7th game in which they've had 11 or more hits.
So when you start making mistakes on the mound, they get on a roll.
They had a stretch of 4 straight games in which they had 12 or more hits. And they went 2-2 in that stretch. 16 matches their season high. Kind of takes low. 2-2.
Well, there's 4 guys when you look at the lineup today that were wearing that A's uniform last year in the lineup. A lot of changes.
Six-1. Nobody out here, the 8th. Full count. So from 0-2 to a full count. Stephen Vogt on deck. Morin pitched 1 inning Monday. Had himself a 1-2-3 7th inning. Game in which Oakland won 6-3. (3-2). Ground ball foul. And Canada reach on the off-speed pitch.
And threw him a slider. Does have a good changeup that'll throw the right-handed batters also.
Another payoff on the way, and that almost hit him. So 2 singles and a walk, and they're loaded up for Vogt. The way this game is going, we'll take a moment to congratulate the Anaheim Ducks. They're sweeping the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, they were actually leading going into the third period.
5-2, the final in that one.
So Ryan Kessler scored a goal. Thought that would be a big addition for the Ducks. They advance, play the winner of the Calgary-Vancouver game, which has been a pretty good battle.
You know, Ken French is riding a duck high right now.
Yeah. How about up there in Winnipeg when Corey Perry was on the ice? They were chanting Katy Perry.
Yeah. I like Katy Perry up in Winnipeg.
I think so. I think Corey was scoring a lot of goals, as usual.
At that point, if you're the Ducks, don't you just bring out the dancing sharks?
Probably. 4-game sweep. That was a tough series, especially those first 3 games for the Ducks against them.
Visit by Butcher. Infield in 6-1 here in the 8th. Nobody out. Vogt. 2 hits tonight. 2 for 4 with an RBI. Breaking ball for a strike. This one's out to shallow center. Trout's there. It's charging in, makes the catch. Tagging, trying to score Simeon. The throw is cut off. It's 7-1. Though with a second RBI of the night. Now has 14 on the season.
I'll do a great start.
It's turned into one heck of a player. Originally in the Rays system. Traded by the Rays to Oakland a couple of years ago in exchange for cash considerations.
He did a nice job because he was just looking for something elevated as a pitcher. You want to keep something downstairs, but that was a pitch upstairs and allowed him in a fly ball.
Change up down low. 1-0 on Billy Butler. 2-run home run in the 7th for Butler. He's had 3 RBIs tonight. Liner to right center field, a base hit. It'll bring in at least 1. Cole cuts it off. Ken on his way to 3rd, and it is 8-1. So the red-hot Billy Butler continues to swing the bat well to start this season. A 4 RBI night.
He has such good plate coverage. He uses the entire field. Always has throughout his whole career. The stride and the coverage on the outer part of the plate. And that good leverage he has to hit the ball hard the other way. He's having a big game here tonight.
This is gloved by Freese to the backhand of Giavotella for 1. Low throw. Pujols can't dig it out. 9-1 Oakland. Boy, we're seeing tonight what the Oakland A's kind of went through last night. A lot of hits. You have an opportunity to make a play. Ball pops out of a glove. The bullpen giving it up.
When Albert made an amazing scoop earlier in the game, but unable to get that one in the dirt. You know, Mike Davis had 3 hits coming into that at bat, and that was the best hit baseball the entire game for him. But that one was caught. Well placed 3 hits before that, but hit with that one on the line. He still ends up with an RBI.
Davis now with 8 runs batted in on the year. Reddick tried to hold up. Fouls it off, and it's no balls and a strike. A 9-1 Oakland lead. 17 hit attack. Season high for them. I believe something great might be done now. Melvin with a handshake. A little flare. Ibar calls off Giavotella. That'll do it. Bourne gives up 3 runs. The Halos now down 9-1. in the 8th, opening this one up. It is 9-1 Athletics. He's got at the bottom of the 8th inning. Hey, folks, on Saturday, the Halos will take on the Texas Rangers. That's a 6:05 game. But guess what, Gooby?
Fireworks?
Saturday Spectaculars. Post-game fireworks presented by Wells Fargo. Purchase your tickets by visiting the Angel Stadium ticket office or angels.com. The Saturday Night Spectacular.
Oh, yes. Spectacular.
A lot of fireworks last night. Good for the Angels. A lot of fireworks tonight. Bad for the Angels. Oakland getting on the Angels bullpen as Evan Scribner takes over on the mound. This will be his 6th game. 2 earned runs in 8 2/3 innings. As he takes over for Sonny Gray, who went 7 innings tonight. 2 hits, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 run, and it was earned. And departed after retiring the last 14 straight. Chris Iannetta swings the first pitch, fouls it back. 0-1. No balls, 2 strikes. Iannetta 0 for 2. A ground ball to second and a pop up to second. One for 9 in the series. Scribner spent most of last season at AAA Sacramento. As Iannetta goes down swinging. Did pitch in 13 games at the major league level with Oakland. That'll bring up Johnny Giavitello. After the last out, there's Angels Live, presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers. Patrick O'Neill and Jose Mota, along with Alex Curry. Wrapping this one up. No question that it deserves a quick wrap-up. On to tomorrow.
Yeah, tough game, especially how well both Weaver and Sonny Gray pitched up into that 7th inning. And then Oakland, like we've seen over the past, once you put yourself into those predictable fastball counts, they don't miss. Now, they will chase when you're ahead of the count. They will expand their strike zone, and you get some swing and misses, some easy outs. When you're behind in the count, they are very dangerous.
Bouncer foul. It's still at no balls and 2 strikes. One and 2. Giavitello 1 for 2. A single back in the 3rd inning. Just 2 hits tonight for the Angels. Double by Freese leading off the 2nd. And the base hit by Johnny in the 3rd. Called strike 3. 2 down.
Scribner with his good fastball spots as well. He's 87-91, slider and changeup. A lot of pitches down in the lower part of the strike zone consistently throughout this game. So now 16 straight batters retired by Oakland pitching.
This is lined over to Brett Laurie. And that's the 2nd time tonight that's happened to Cole Calhoun. We will head to the 9th. 9-1 Oakland.
outing. Sonny Gray with the bases loaded in the third inning gets a swing and miss from Albert Pujols with one out, getting that second out, then jamming David Freese to get through the inning. No damage done. Pop up to Sogard. Then in that seventh inning, Billy Butler pitch out over the plate, homers the dead center field as part of a 5-run seventh inning for Oakland. They lead this game now 9-1. Butler continues to swing the bat well for Oakland.
9-1 here in the ninth inning. Just over 30,000 in attendance, and good game through 6 innings. A fantastic pitching duel between Jared Weaver and Sonny Gray, but then the 5-run seventh and 3 more in the 8th for Oakland kind of open it up. Joe Smith comes in to pitch the 9th. He'll face the bottom third of the order. New shortstop for the Angels is Taylor Featherston. That's the only change in the Angels lineup. Brett Laurie looks at a strike. 1 for 4 game for Laurie. Every starter for Oakland, kind of as was the case last night for the Angels, minus Albert Pujols with a hit tonight. 17 total hits. 0-2. Laurie fouls one off. Count remains at 1-2.
Running that fastball in.
Slider gets Laurie, 1 down.
Now it's time for In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. Sonny Gray threw the ball exceptionally well today. On 7 innings, 1 earned run, retired his last 14 batters faced. A good ERA once again, always good in the month of April. Last year, AL Pitcher of the Month in April. This year so far, 1.91 ERA in 4 starts.
Eric Sogard, a 1 for 4 game. Oh, 2. Pulled foul. It's first outing for Joe Smith in some time since Friday night in Houston. Lone victory in that series for the Angels. Same goes for Houston Street. Well, I would imagine, whether winning or otherwise, get some action tomorrow. Sogard lines one beyond the reach of Featherston out to left. Second hit of the night, 18th for Oakland. Puts a man on for Marcus Semien.
Second hit of the game for Sogard. So used to seeing him getting on base against the Angels, over 300 career hitter versus Angel pitching.
Remember, tomorrow's game back on Fox Sports West, and it is a 4:05 first pitch. Angels Live will kick things off at 3:30 tomorrow. Semien looks at a strike. Chopper towards short. It'll be tough to turn two. Featherston to Giavotella, and the relay is in time. They got him.
That was quick.
Yeah. Nice turn by Giavotella. It's an inning-ending double play. At least so it appears. There's no could be an argument, I don't think, from the A's standpoint. And we will head to the bottom of the ninth. Oakland on top, 9-1. Of 9-1, and it is 26-year-old Arnold Leone making his major league debut for the Oakland Athletics here in the ninth inning. He has pitched in the Oakland A's system for a little while now, going back to 2008. He's also pitched in Mexico. That's where he is from, Culiacan, Mexico. Just 26 years of age. Last year at Sacramento, 27 starts, 10-7 with a 4.97 ERA.
What we've seen out of the bullpen for Oakland over the years, always strike throwers. First pitch strike, pitch inside. That's been their philosophy. Kurt Young has taught that well.
Trout, Pujols, and Freese, the three batters for the Angels here in the ninth. Trout 0 for 2 with a walk. First one's downstairs.
After your debut and you have to face Trout, it's always fun.
Yeah. We're talking about tomorrow's game at 4:05 with Nick Topriano getting the start for the Angels. Jesse Chavez going for Oakland. 2 balls, no strikes. Two and one. Got the upper part of the strike zone. Hit the air to center. One down. Evan Scrivener, by the way, went 1 inning with 2 strikeouts. Pujols back toward the middle. Simeon dives, has it, gets up, throws to first, and high throw pulls Davis off the bag. That'll go as a base hit for Albert. It snaps a string of 18 straight retired by Oakland pitching.
You can see the potential for Simeon as their shortstop. This baseball is up the middle. Dives. But just got underneath his throw, dropped his elbow in the high throw to first base. He's got great range. It's all about being more consistent with the throws from the shortstop position. It's got him so far in his early career here as an Oakland A. But he certainly has potential.
1 out, 1 on for David Freese. Freese fouls it off to the right. $18 hits tonight for Oakland, 3 for the Angels. Lost tonight. The Angels will drop to 1-5 here at home. This one down the line. Long run for Reddick. That's a fair ball into the seats. It's a double for Freese. Pujols will end up at third.
2 doubles in the game for Freese. Continuing to use the whole field.
Taylor Featherston will bat now. First plate appearance for him. Still looking for that first big league hit.
The perfect time to get it. Possibly get a couple RBIs along with that.
Looks at a fastball just low. Featherston picked up his first big league RBI last night, the 7th with a sacrifice fly. Breaking ball evens the count at 1-1. Well, I don't know about you, but I gotta go through around Major League Baseball as far as rosters. Seems like every team so far we've run into Rule 5 picks.
You're taking that chance. You got to keep them up there on the roster the entire season, or you lose them back to the original club, or you can lose them.
2 balls, 1 strike. Canada's a Rule 5 pick for Oakland. Texas had 2 guys. If I remember correctly, Logan Barrett was one of them, the pitcher. They haven't had 2 pitchers ever Rule 5 picks.
Wasn't George Bell one?
Oh, yeah.
Johan Santana was. Been some good ones over the years.
Dan Uggla.
Started off strong.
Yeah, he did.
Great power.
The Florida Marlins.
Yes.
The 2-1. 2-2. Seattle defeated Houston tonight 3-2. Arizona defeated Texas 8-5. Only other game that's still going on is up at AT&T Park in San Fran. 2-2 Dodgers and the Giants. That game's in the 8th.
2-run home run off of Bumgarner in the 7th inning. A pinch hit home run by Guerrero.
Full count.
That was a solid pitching out.
Yeah. The Mets.
They won again.
Defeated Atlanta 3-2. What's the Mets record now? I know it's their best. It's the first time they've been at this mark since 1986. As Featherston takes the walk and they're loaded up.
They are now 12-3.
Yeah, first time they've been 12-3 since '86.
That was a magical year for them. And they're dealing with some significant injuries themselves.
Yeah. So bases loaded and 1 out. Bottom of the 9th. Matt Joyce up. He's 0 for 3. Joyce cutting through the changeup.
Still seeing as he makes the swing, the head pulling off the baseball. He's got to stay back. Got great career numbers with the bases loaded. 362 career hitter with the bases loaded.
Chopper off the plate. Brett Laurie has to wait for it. Bare hands it, fires it first. They get the out. Joyce will pick up the RBI, and it's 9-2. 2 down here in the ninth.
That was played well by Brett Laurie at third base. He has an incredibly strong throwing arm. Did on the baseball. Last second at the bare hand, and then the strong throw. All in one motion.
You could always put him on the bump if
I was going to say.
Get a blowout game.
With like Davis throwing the way he threw last night, 86, 87, 88 with his fastball.
Colin Cowgill at the plate with 2 on, 2 outs. First one's in for a strike. Colin 0 for 3. No balls, 2 strikes. And Cowgill goes down swinging. Oakland takes a third game of this series. 9-2 the final.
Yeah, you look back, there's a couple opportunities, not many against Sonny Gray, who tired his last 14 batters. The third inning had a shot. He made some quality pitches in a 5-run 7th inning by Oakland. Got himself in real good hitters counts, and they capitalized, including Billy Butler's home run to center. Like Davis, big game, 3 hits. Also Reddick, a 3-hit performance too, but Billy Butler with a big swing there in the 7th inning.
Oakland A's return the favor on the Halos for what the Angels did last night to Oakland. Sonny Gray picks up the win. Fernando Salas takes the loss. Oakland wins it 9-2. Stick around. Angels Live coming up next.